Hey YouTube, this is Master Maniac and welcome back to another episode of Satisfactory. Last episode we did, well, some of the shenanigans here. We've got computers and regular modular frames and a little bit of reinforced plates being sent into dimensional depots over here, as well as on this side. I've got some quartz stuff being loaded up, but you might notice I've added a couple of things here. So this set up here is making rotors. So that's good because I didn't have any rotor production set up over here yet. This is taking in some of the stuff from some of the quartz from over here, and it's making AI limiters, but it's also making crystal oscillators. And I've only got one blueprint of this placed down because I really think that's all I'm going to need for now. Yeah, we're already filling up on some of this stuff. Yeah, so no big deal. Over here we've got iron plates and iron rods. Hold on. Yeah. Okay, so plates on this end, rods on this end, and cables over here. Very, very good. Yeah, basically just getting all the little miscellaneous stuff that I need slapped into dimensional depots. These refineries here are doing copper sheets using the steamed copper sheet recipe, just to make them a little bit more efficient. So now it's 1-to-1 copper to sheets. Yeah. And I did that specifically because I know at some point in the future I'm going to have big blueprints that are going to be used to run tons and tons and tons of pipe across large distances. So it would be nice to have a big bulk storage of copper sheets ready there. This episode, as promised from last episode, I would like to focus on building. There is a criminal amount of undecorated factories over here, and I would like to change the majority of that. This is going to be a big issue, right? That it's just going to take a lot of work. So I'm going to try to dedicate the entire episode to it, but there is something I would like to do first. So as I mentioned, reinforced plates are being automated over there, right? But what's automated over there is basically just overflow. It's not nearly enough for like everything I need. Namely, for over there where our batteries are, and yes, that is going to be the full height of the battery tower. And we can look at what I'm going to do over there in just a minute. But now the big pain point for me placing all this stuff down is reinforced plates. So I'm thinking, why don't we get another warehouse, sort of like what this is going to be, producing those, just dedicated entirely to them. So yeah, give me just a second. I've got some blueprints and stuff, but let me lay down some bits and pieces and see what kind of footprint I'm looking at for this. And alright, here we go. So I went ahead and marked out all the space that I would need. So I've got a blueprint, one of the self-contained blueprints. Let me find it here for iron plates. And this I will need approximately 20 of. As long as it is cooperating and fitting nicely on top of there, and it looks like it is. Good. Now, which way do I want the inputs to feed from? Where are our iron nodes here? Right there and right there. So like smack in the middle. That there is no best location to pull that stuff from. Great, I love it. Appreciate that game. How about, I guess we can have the inputs on that end. So I'll slap one of these down and give you a tour of the blueprint real quick. So I'm using alternate recipes so that the only thing that I have to put into here is iron, but I'm still using the stitched iron plate recipe here. It's underclocked down to producing 3 per minute. And then I've got a pair of constructors here. One of them's making regular iron plates at exactly as much as needed for that. And then the other is making wire out of iron ingots. It's a little bit more expensive to do it this way versus using copper, but it unifies all of the stuff that we need for this. And so what we end up with is a very easily spammable blueprint, and it'll get us 60 reinforced plates per minute, which is exactly what I'm looking for. So let me get these placed down and auto-connected and everything. That should be working. Let me verify that. If it will attach, there we go. Oh. Alright, so now the question's going to be, did these connect? I guess the only way for me to really test that is going to be to organization. Let's just do a storage container here. And just make sure this makes it all the way down to the end here. Okay, well, it looks like that came through, but why did the water pipes not do the thing? Huh. Weird. Yeah, let me do some troubleshooting here real quick, and I'll be right back. And there we go. Now the auto connect seems to be working fine. It looks like the pipes were just too close together in the original blueprint. So there wasn't enough space to place the additional pipe between them. The regular belts, however, were showing that they were sending items through, so that's all good. The only thing I should manually have to hook up is going to be the power. Alright, great. So I need, in total, 20 of these modules. We've got enough space for them, so let's just get that... let's just get that placed down real quick. And actually, I think what I'm going to do is... Why do you keep changing? What I'm going to do is, I believe I'm just going to snake it through here. That way, when it comes time to place this, or to get stuff routed in, I only have to input on one side. So that'll be marginally helpful, at least a little bit. Yeah, give me just a minute, let me get these thrown down, and I will be right back. Oop. And here we go, a decent little field of machines here. Not sure what I'm going to do with this area. I would definitely like to leave this, this sort of ditch open for the train. However, we got plenty of room over here for walls and stuff, so that shouldn't be that big of a deal. Let me just show you what I had thought I was going to do versus what I actually ended up doing for this. So I've got a triple storage set up underneath here. Initially, I was considering having the outputs from this come over into this building and have the reinforced plates stored in here. But I just couldn't come up with a way that didn't look awful. Frankly, there's no better way to say it. It looked really bad. So I just ended up bringing them downstairs over here and sticking them in that. There's not really much of a reason why it should need to be on the same level. And this is mostly going to get enclosed in a box later anyway. So yeah, I think I'm cool with that. The next thing that I need to do is get the inputs taken care of, which means I need to come down here and find my iron nodes. Yep, there's one, and the other should be right over that way, I believe. So yeah, let me plug these in.
Alright, we are back, and I had to throw out a little bit of footage because apparently my mic was being fucking dumb again. So basically what I went over was just hooking up the inputs and outputs for everything. The iron ore sort of snakes its way back and forth through all of this. And then the water input is over on this side, using a sort of counterflow system. And it appears that just about everything is ready to go. Let's see where we're running short here. This dude is running at 98%, so it should be filled up pretty soon. What about this dude? Is at 100? Okay, good. Good. Just check down here. Yep, looks like it is in fact functional. I guess I'm going to have to give this a minute to fill up and work, though. So how about, in the meantime, we work on a different building? Yeah, and I guess as good a place as any to start would be this Caterium factory that I've been so very excited about coming in here and messing with. The first thing I think I want to do is get some of these billboards down. Like that. Yeah. Well, it's a good thing I've got those crystal oscillators being made. Up. And drop that one. And this is using the animated texture. Ooh, that appears to be offset ever so slightly. How about that? Is that better? Much better. Okay. Yeah, it looks like the textures from these connect if you place them directly beside one another. And I did specifically want that animating in a different direction, so that is a good thing, I would say. That should be all of those. Yeah. And I'm probably going to do something similar in these gaps here. But it is going to take a lot more of those billboards. Okay, yeah. Hopefully you can see where I'm going with this. These nice big puddles of green in here. Think I'm going to do something like this for the outer walls, as opposed to attempting to follow this curve. That may be the better idea. I'm not sure, though, what material I'm going to want to use for the walls is the thing. I feel like just using regular concrete ain't gonna really cut it. I could paint it, though. That is an option. I don't know. Let me do a little bit of messing around. Alright, so it turns out that the way that I built this, even using the template, has caused just a teensy bit of discrepancy here on the corners. Hopefully that's not going to be too big of a problem. But here's what I'm looking at for now. I'm not sure how and or if I'm going to bring this inward. We'll have to see about that. For now, I guess I can just build this up a little bit. And see... Ooh, you know what? This may be... No. You go uppies. This may be a good situation for... frames? Maybe? Oop. And I forget that I can fall straight through these. Most of these objects have a stable hitbox. Ooh, that looks interesting. Okay. Those are some shapes I can absolutely get behind, and I think I can just do some accents on this and call it good, right? Probably bring something down from that level. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, that sort of hangs directly in between there. That appears to be the correct angle. Very good. Oh, game, I would appreciate it if you would quit being weird. There we go. Alright, yeah, and it looks like I'm starting to get some good shapes to appear in here now. I wonder, do I have like a framed wall or anything like that? I'm pretty sure there are frame walls. Those are windows. It's not quite what I'm looking for. They may be under architecture. I do have framed walls, so I could pretty easily do something like that, right? And even as far as like down here, I mean, because they're frames, they're not really gonna look like they're interfering. Ooh. Except when that happens. I don't like that. Let's get rid of those. Why are these... Oh, weird. They rotated? And that pushed them out of alignment? I didn't know that that was a thing with these frame dealios. Okay, cool. That appears to be correct. Hell yeah. I guess the last thing that I would want would be something like that. Huh. Probably gonna have to rip this up. Oh, I do kind of like that. Except I'll probably have to build it like that-ish, give or take. Oh, but I don't like the way it interacts up there. Interesting. Okay, well then let's try it. Oh, I really wish I had the hover pack. That would make building so much easier. Alright, that ain't gonna cut it either. I would really like something in the frames to sort of seal this area in to some degree. I'm just not sure how I would go about that. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, ooh, right there? Is that accurate? That is not accurate. That is not what I'm looking for. Yeah, see, that's the problem with this particular shape of building that I've got here. Alright, well, let me do some more messing around. Now, what I think is going to be a real problem for me is coming up with what the hell I'm going to do with the front of this building. I've got ideas, but they all seem clashy. We're getting there. I'm not sure where there is, but we're getting there. I like the roof design, and I'm going to put a little bit of a second story up here, and this is going to be just to make quick wire for dimensional depots. So I am going to have to figure out how to get some ingots up here in a way that makes sense. That'll be fun. But yeah. Alright, it's coming along. Slowly but surely. It'll get there. Okay, here we go. That is definitely something. The roof, the upper roof, I guess, is going to be a little bit messy. Especially with like these corners and stuff here. I just don't really have a great way to make those look good. And the tar roof here is kind of just whatever patchwork I can throw together for it. Might throw some other stuff up here just to decorate the upper roof portion. And I think there's some stuff I need to do around like the bottoms of this stuff here. Let's see, I wanted to do frame walls across these. Yeah, I think that'll help these look a little bit more supported. Oh, very much so. Yeah. Okay, good. And I think the last big major thing that I need to do for this is, well, color. The teal is a little bit clashy here, and I might switch that out for like unpainted or let's see. How does unpainted look? You know what? Unpainted is okay. I think I'll accept that. Oh, right. Those are different objects. See how that looks from over here? Ooh, that is quite a bit better, and I like the gold sticking out there. So I might come over here and unpaint those as well. How does that look? It's okay. It's a little bit clashy with these, but maybe I should change these into something like that. Is that... Oh yeah, that looks quite a bit better. Okay. Okay. Alright. Mild reveal time. Ta-da! Went ahead and put a logo for the corporation that I feel would be running this refinery setup, Qfect specifically with the chemical symbols for copper, iron, and presumably caterium. I don't know what the actual symbol would be for that, but I'm just gonna keep CT. And yeah, I think this is pretty good. The lighting for this isn't that great. I might want to shove billboards like back behind those or something and set them to just a very low emission strength. But yeah, aside from that, if we pop backwards a little bit, you can see the walls look nice. I like the level of detail around the outside of these here. Feels very, very good. Yeah. The front, I think, maybe could be a little more grand. We come and look at it from the front again, but it does appear to have pretty much all the detail that I think it needs. And also, I should note... Oh, I didn't get them actually plugged in. Whoopsie. We should now have caterium being produced at about, or quick wire, sorry, at about 300 per minute, which means that this should fill up and provide that for me in my dimensional depot, and that means that I should be able to get rid of that one down there. With all of this taken care of, I think that's, I want to say that's everything I need. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that should be produced, but this is, yeah, this is cable. So we're like totally, yeah, we're totally good. Wonderful. Excellent. How about let's go check on our reinforced iron plates? It's been a little while since I started building this building here, and I think this is where I'm going to leave that for now. The interior needs some work done. You can still see some of the red there, but yeah, I don't want to force myself to do building and it not come out as great as I want it to. So I'm going to leave that there for the time being. Oh, yeah. Yeah, buddy, these are filling up quick. Wonderful. I guess this means that it's time to go and work on the battery area. All right. Time for battery system upgrades. And of course, step one is making sure you can reach all the way up there. So I went ahead and set up an elevator here. It is not complete yet. If we come up a good few floors, let's say to here. What a view, though. Yeah, see, you're stepping out into a hole here. So I need to patch these up before we make any huge progress here. Luckily, I should only need to do that on each level. Hell yeah. So that should be pretty quick and easy. Let me take care of that real quick. And there we go. Now that I've got those filled in, all I should need to do now to expand all this is to hopefully go up to the building above. Draw out some more catwalks. Like so. And I'll do this side since this is the side where I'll be building. Remove these. Grab one of those. Set it down directly in the middle because this stuff lines up weird. And then draw a line. And draw a line. Good. So then the next thing I should need is going to be this battery bank on blueprint mode. And it's 2 nudges downward, is that correct? Yep, that looks correct to me. I'll drop that. And then nudge the next one. So on and so forth until all of these are done. And see how much of this quartz they used right out of my inventory? Ooh, expensive. What I will do is turn that off. Because I think the only thing that I have in my inventory is that quartz. But yeah, so now the next thing I should have to do is come down here and run power upward for each of these. Yeah, so here's why I wanted to get a bunch of infrastructure going for this. You see, I'm short on wire here. But we're loading wire into dimensional depots 10 at a time, I'm assuming, because we have 10 dimensional depots. So it doesn't actually take that very long to get everything up and going. These last 2 to place are the final out of the 15 that I had to place for this layer. So it's not really that much of an inconvenience. Yeah. Good, good. I believe I have found a slightly easier way to go about all this, by the way. If instead of placing all of them for the entire layer, I just do one side at a time, and then go and link up the power. By the time I'm done linking up power, I won't have to wait as long for wire to be done filling up in my storage. Very nice. See, and there we go. I placed 7 of them because there's a tower already built here. And yeah, I was just barely running out of wire there. Very good. So now I should be able to come and fill these in. And when I'm done with that, I should be entirely full on my wire storage. We'll check that here in just a moment. Up. Ooh, that one wasn't connected. Uh-oh. I may have to go further down and check on that one. But yeah, so looking at it now, yeah, full 2,000. Very good. Looks like quartz are still filling up, but that's okay. Yeah, just let me, I guess, toil away at this, and I will return to you guys momentarily. There we go, all the way up to the top on every single one of these. Next, I'm just gonna have to do a whole bunch of buttoning up. And that's gonna take a minute. Oh boy. But at the very least, it's only one big concrete pillar and 2 signs on each of these. Okay, it's a lot more stuff than than it actually sounds like. This is 16 layers of 16 apiece. How much is that? 16 times 16 is 256. So 512 signs? Not difficult, just tedious. Well, put a hat on it. Oh, and also I finished out the signs. I got a little bit carried away and kind of just did that off camera. This is a direct mirror of what's down here. And these raised up bits are for a reason, but I need to get them all placed up there first. And frankly, I don't want to. I need to place blocks on the underside of this, and I don't have a good or easy way to do that without installing FlyMod again, and I don't want to install FlyMod again. FlyMod made problems for me. So how about we take a quick little detour and automate some heavy modular frames? Oh boy. All right, that wasn't too terrible to get set up. Just one big thing that's using a handful of alternate recipes. So I'm using the heavy encased frame here, which takes encased industrial beams and steel pipes and concrete. And all of that can be mixed in here using the encased industrial pipe recipe to get the beams. Using solid steel to get the raw steel ingots for that. There's a molded steel pipe recipe that's a little bit more efficient. And I was able to do that with a little bit of overclocking in just one foundry here. And then iron plates being made there, iron wire being made there, and overclocked ever so slightly to get our reinforced iron plates. And then those are coming together with the steeled frame to get our regular modular frames to be sent up into the manufacturer. And I went ahead and set up a dimensional depot over here as well, because, well, I mean, I don't really need a whole crap load of these, but it'd be nice to have. And I only need to carry 1 per minute over to the space elevator. So that should be pretty easy to do. Speaking of that, over here, I just went ahead and set up a circuit board assembler, because similarly, I will need 1 per minute. That's going to be for the adaptive control units. Oh no, sorry, I need 5 per minute. Either way, that's still not too much. So I need to grab these 3 products from over here and bring them over to that train station over there. Yeah, that shouldn't be a huge issue. Let me get that set up real quick and set that train station up And then we'll pipe the stuff into the machines over at the space elevator and hopefully get a little bit closer to unlocking the hover pack. All right, that should be easy peasy. And now all of the things that I need are going to be Ratchaw. Frankly, I don't need them going anywhere further than that. So let's pull that one up to there. That one up to there. And that one up to there. And we can start running these inputs in over... Ooh. I may need to move that a little bit. Let me just hold you in place right there. A little bit too close. How about that? Let's see if this is a better match. Remember, I only really need to bring 3 belts over here from this side because the automated wiring is going to be coming up from below. There we go. Easy enough. And let's come down for the automated wiring. We'll remove that. And, ooh, up there, and right there. All right, there we go. New product should be coming out of these any second now. Just waiting on everything to get dropped off. Let's see how it goes. Oh, please, oh, please, oh, please. Yes, dude. Let's go. Okay. That means that I can bring this over to here-ish. We'll call that good. And then down. Maybe not there, though. Maybe instead, I'll just carry this up. Oop. I am at a bad spot. Oh, that is also a bad spot. Okay. Let me work out some logistics here. All right, the first batch of adaptive control units should be making its way down and getting attached into the space elevator any second now. Just want to verify that. You're going to make it into the... Yes, it did. Awesome. All right. Well, I've got that overclocked, so I'm going to let it burn through its backlog real quick while I wait for this, and we will BRB, I guess, when that's ready to go. All right, and there we go. That didn't take nearly as long as I'd expected to. So let's go ahead and get... Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. There's at least a good bit of dialogue in this, so we'll watch this together. All right. Sealed up.
Welcome to the Project Assembly Pioneer Progress presentation. Congratulations, the Phase 3 project part shipment is finally ready for delivery. On delivery, Phase 3 will be completed and the main body will be constructed. You should know how this works by now. You'll get access to Tiers 7 and 8 in the hub. In fact, perhaps you should just go look at the technologies there yourself. It's all laid out so that even a monkey could understand it, so you should have no issues. Speaking of which, I don't think you need a reminder about project parts. Instead, I will be providing some interesting facts. Did you know the average pioneer succeeds at saving the day? Did you know the average pioneer knows how to optimize pipe throughput? Did you know the average pioneer stays late at work because they care about humanity? Anyway, I thought you might want to know more about your peers. Good luck in Phase 4.
Alright, cool. Let's send it. Maybe I can get a... If I can get out of here quick enough, maybe I can get a good view of the stuff being built up there. Oh yeah, squelch those clouds out of the way. There we go. Beautiful.
Phase 3 of project assembly completed. Fixit's predictions indicate pioneers should generally reach this point faster with above-average results, but we should all adjust our expectations according to the situation. It is understandable. The pressure and complexity will only increase from here, so be sure to take on Phase 4 with efficiency and competence.
Okay. Pretty rude, honestly. And of course, the first thing that I want to open up here is going to be this hover pack, and it's a good thing that I got the aluminum sheets. Let's see. Yeah, I've got enough regular modular frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to need one more stack of those. And 2 stacks of computers. Almost there. There we go. Now I should be able to drop everything else in here and send it. Wonderful. And it looks like with all the work that we've done so far, I've got everything that I need to get one of these made. Wonderful. That's what happens when you're prepared. Yay! Alright. So let's see how that works. So these do, for anybody who hasn't had the luxury of using this before. Ooh, it's a good bit faster than I thought it was. So the hover pack uses electricity rather than a fuel. So it makes it ideal for, you know, moving around vertically, and you can just hover in place. You don't have to worry about how much it's consuming. I mean, unless you're really struggling on power, but it only takes like 100 megawatts, so it's not that big of a deal. Also, if you end up getting out of range, let's see if I can simulate that real quick. If you ever end up out of range of a power thing, you can hold nope. It's gonna connect me to something else. Yeah, you can hold space to slow fall, I guess, with whatever residual power remained. Yeah. So you don't have to worry about falling to your death with this. Very good. Alright, now let me get back over there and we'll do the remaining part of the battery, or the battery bank. Now that I can hover adequately.
Can verify, absolutely. This is so much easier. And so much more convenient than having to place a scaffold all the way down here. Yeah. Unlocking this was a good decision. Alright, so what do we think? Is that an interesting looking support structure? I would say it is. Now the issue that I think I'm going to come into is going to be these protrusions here and how to make those look good. And also the top of the hat here. It's going to present its own little issue. Wonder how I handle that. And one more look now that the crown's up there, and yeah, I think I'm pretty much good with this. Need to get rid of these little dealios here. Those guys. I think once that's done, the top is pretty much good to go. There we go. I went ahead and cleaned up the wires and stuff that were hanging out down there. And yeah, I think it's a little bit plain in terms of texture, but I think it's the shape of the thing outright that I was looking for here. And I like the way that this turned out. Ooh, falling. Yeah, I like the way that this turned out. Very good. I guess let me load all this footage up into my video editing software and we'll see what kind of time frame we're looking at here. Actually, I lied slightly. Let's get our first milestone of Phase 4, our first major milestone, I should say, unlocked. How many computers do I need? 100. Frames, 100 of those. And then motors, yep, should be good now. There we go. That means next time we'll be able to get into bauxite and refining all that into aluminum. Very good. I'm not sure 100% where the nearest bauxite node is. I know there's some like around this area. I think there's some here in the swamp biome. I know there's one like way up here. But yeah, I'll have to build out a train line heading to it and probably just bring the box. Ooh, look at that and all the progress that's been made over here. Look at that. That's really starting to shape up into a sort of cityscape. Yeah, I think right back over here would be a really good place to set up bauxite refining and deal with aluminum-related shenanigans. So yeah, I think that might be the objective for next episode. Unfortunately, I wanted to do a lot more decorating and stuff in this one, a lot more purdification of the factories. It just hasn't worked out the way I thought it would. Turns out building things and making them look good takes a while, and I did not allocate enough time to that. So yeah. Yeah, I think for now this is as good a place as any to sort of call it for the time being. We did get a lot of really nice work done in this episode, including the battery backup. Oh no, the lights de-render. Unfortunate. Hey, you get a little bit closer and you can see that that interior column looks a lot like, I don't know, what I would imagine a nuclear control rod or something looks like. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how everything's turned out today, and I'm looking forward to how everything turns out on the next one. Unsure if we will be doing more decorating next time, or if we're just gonna move on into an aluminum factory or what. But in between episodes, I will be scanning hard drives and getting alternate recipes up and running. So appreciate you guys coming out and watching. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to leave a like, comment, sub down below. And I guess I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.